everyone, my name is Eve. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are talking about the best books of 2023. I filmed this one and the worst books of 2023 back to back so that I look the same, except I was wearing black in that video because I'm dramatic and I wanted to go a bit of an extra mile to convey my disappointment. Obviously, for this one, I will be talking about my favorite books of the year, so I will be going 4.5 stars and 5 stars here, and I believe I have 10 of them. I had to pinch from 4.5 star category just to round it up to 10 because I thought I'll have a nice round number, which is a bit of a shame because that means I didn't have that many pure 5 stars, but I'm hoping 2024 will be more successful. Without any further ado, let's dive into the books. As I've already talked about pretty much all of these books, I won't go into massive detail and I won't focus on any potential negative aspects I had, especially for my 4.5 stars. I will just share with you why I love them. This will be a positive video. If you didn't like any of these books, all more power to you. I'm open for discussion, but this is my opinion. So the first 4.5 star is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is not my normal on-brand reading. I don't read much contemporary. It has to be something really special to draw me in. But Taylor Jenkins Reid is the exception to the rule. I said it in my very first video that I think she's amazing writer anyway. I haven't really researched into problematic aspects of her, but I just love how she writes as if it's a movie, how she unfolds all the relationships and all the characters and really makes you feel for them. This particular one, summarized, it's about a group of siblings who are grown up. Their mother has passed away. Their father is a rock star, but he's as deadbeat as they come. He's not interested in a relationship with them. And every year they host this party just to celebrate how everything is going great in their lives, except it's not really going that great. And there's some big changes coming up for all of them in many ways. And I loved how atmospheric this was. I read this in January and I felt like I was on a sandy California, Malibu beach, just breathing in the salty sea air. I loved all the characters, even the deadbeat dad was so interesting to read about. I loved their relationships and their dynamics. It was just a breath of fresh air. And I'm making this a rule, honestly, when I need like a complete palate cleanser, something completely different. After reading too many thrillers, so I don't get another burnout, I'm just gonna buy one of her books and work through her bibliography that way. But yeah, I didn't like this one as much as Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, because that one is just classic, forever, 5-6 star, platinum, whatever. But I still really loved it. My next 4.5 star that I loved, and I have already talked a lot about it, is Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. I have an Ashley Winstead deep dive that I will link down below, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but this is essentially a cult story. The main character, Shay, finds out that her friend from university days, who was also a member of a cult that they were both stuck in, committed suicide, and she doesn't believe that it was a suicide because of what they were involved in. And she thinks that cult is behind it, and she recruits her childhood best friend, who's now a true crime podcaster, to investigate. And it's also told a bit through the podcast form as well. She recounts the events at the time that they were in that cult. It was dark, it was raw, it was messed up, it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it, and like I said, it's a shame that I read my favorite book of hers first. But I didn't expect to like this one as much as I ended up liking it. I thought In My Dreams I Hold a Knife would surely be my favorite, but I still really loved In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. I gave it 4 stars, but this one just overtook it. And yeah, any qualms I might have about it, they don't outweigh that. I thought it was brilliant, and Shay was one of a hell messed up woman. That's 100% for sure, but she was captivating to read about, and I was still rooting for her to get some justice. And yeah, this is, I'm not even sure how to describe it. It's definitely not like a suspense thriller, like, or an action thriller, murder mystery investigation, maybe a little bit. Overall, it's purely just psychological, just power dynamics messed up, and yeah. But be aware, there's lots of trigger warnings. If I can open the page just to show you so that you are aware. And I appreciated that they had all of these, but yeah. So, lots of them. Be very aware. And we have a book by my girl Ruth Ware, who has not done me wrong so far, and that is The Death of Mrs. Westaway. It's essentially about this girl, Harriet, who has virtually nothing to her name. She's in debt, no relatives, no friends to help out. And then she receives this letter that her grandmother passed away and there's an inheritance hearing in Cornwall, I think, except that her grandparents that she knows of died before she was even born, basically. So she decides there's been a mistake, but because she's desperate, she's going to try to con this family and get whatever that woman left her granddaughter. And I thought it was amazingly done. Ruth Ware does atmosphere and setting like no other. And yes, Harriet was a very flawed character, but she was compelling to read about, and I felt so bad for her throughout the whole book, because especially in the scenes that she was all lonely and scared, and yeah, I just wanted her to be happy and to find some peace and to find someone who gives a crap about her. And yeah, like I said, whatever little tidbits I had about this book, they didn't change my enjoyment of it. Technically, this is my least favorite, as I said, from the 3 Ruth Wares that I read so far. And I actually think I'm going to tackle The Turn of the Key next, so we'll see, because that is like universally acclaimed best one by her. But no matter what, I still had a great time reading this one, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Turn of the Key brings for me. Then we got my probably the most surprising discovery author of this year, Shari Lapina, and her book The End of Her. This is a pure domestic thriller through and through. We got a married couple, they're struggling with newborn twins, and a blast from the past shows up and tells the wife that the husband killed his first wife and to just check out what that's about. And we spend the whole book sort of questioning, did he do it? There's even a bit of a murder trial investigation. I just thought that whole question of it, that was the main motive of the book. I thought that was really well done. I thought the characters that you were meant to root for were very clear. The characters that were unlikable, they were also very clear. And the woman who was stirring the pot, I despised her. I thought she was a horrible human, hated her with every fiber of my being. One of the worst characters I ever read, but yeah, it was, sure, was it a bit cartoonish towards the end? Absolutely, but it was just fun. It was great fun. I had an amazing time reading this, and yeah, it was nice to read something purely domestic to calm that craving that I've had since another book I'm going to talk about later. So yeah, that is The End of Her. And the last 4.5 star that I got was the one I talked about in my December wrap-up, because it was my last read for the year, and that is The Dark by Emma Houghton. And this one is about this medical professional who is going to a research base in Antarctica for the long winter as a replacement for this doctor who died in an unfortunate accident. Except that she thinks it wasn't an accident, and she thinks she's trapped in with the killer for like 4 months without any way to get out of there, and the killer's not done with what he's doing. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I didn't have high hopes after the month of December I've had, which I'm sure you know about if you watched that video, but it was not a good reading month. And yeah, I wasn't expecting anything really when picking this one up, but I had a great time. I had a great time with the characters, with the setting, with the suspense. I thought that everything was sort of going the way that it should have, that everything was building up nicely to the reveal and the suspense and the twists and everything. I thought everything was laid out really well, and yeah, sure, there might not have been much substance to this, but it doesn't matter. I had a great time, and I'm just glad that I finished 2023 with a decent read, because I was getting a bit desperate. So yeah, that is The Dark. Now onto the 5 stars, which now that I'm thinking, I've only given 5 books this year 5 stars. I will talk more about that in my just general short wrap up stats related. But I will just get these ones out of the way because technically they were rereads, and they are The Shining and Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I don't need to tell you about these books if you've watched my videos, and if you are aware of anything in the horror community, book community, whatever, you'll know about these. And I promise you, Stephen King is not sponsoring me. He has enough money to spare without me talking about his books. But these are classics for a reason. These are one of his best for a reason. They're everything that horror should be, and I love them, and I will continue to love them, and I'm glad I read them in English for the first time this year, and it's been great, and they are worthy of their 5-star status. And I could rave about them for like minutes and minutes longer, but I'm sure you've heard enough of me doing that. Another book by my discovery of Shari Lapina that was a complete 5-star and that I love was Someone We Know. And this is about the suburban family in a suburban household where the wife finds out that her son has been breaking into people's homes. So she writes apology notes to these people because conscience, I guess, even though that's not the smartest idea. Admitting guilt from a lawyer's perspective, and it just so happens that in one of those houses, the woman who lived there went missing and was found murdered, and now everyone is a suspect and secrets start coming out. This was such a juicy small town suburban drama of everyone having secrets, everyone hating each other, sleeping around with each other. It was fast paced. It got to the point. It was straightforward writing with some solid moments where I was questioning myself, where I wasn't sure. I thought it was pretty masterful, and I'm really glad that I picked it up, even though no other book of hers so far has lived up to this one. Although I love the end of her, and also I really enjoyed The Unwanted Guest, this one is still my favorite, and I read this one first, so we'll see if any other book of hers knocks this out of the park. Before I talk about my last physical book that I have, I will mention my 5-star read, which is, I will compile it and count it as one, but technically it's part of a, I should say, series novelization, however you want to call it, by my dear friend Renata Blindero, called Monastery. And this is about this guy named Albert. It's narrated from his POV, although from beyond the grave, as he is murdered. The series literally starts with his murder. We don't know who committed it. We think that it must be one of his family. Until one day his grandkids, while playing, they find this letter written before his death, essentially saying that if I died, then one of my family did it. And they try to figure out what the hell happened in this small town and who's responsible. And it's brilliant. I mean, I'm not done reading it. I read 4 installments so far, and honestly, I'm really enjoying it. It's the perfect mix of comedy, romance, heartbreak, all the characters, even the villains. They're so well fleshed out and so interesting. The dynamics are just brilliant. They're so well thought out, and there's a dog there as well. I mean, come on, a dog in the novel, that automatically earns points for me. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next, and I don't want to tell much more so I don't spoil anything for anyone, but I would definitely look them up on Amazon because you'll have a great time. And my last 5-star of the year, like I said, I just wanted to finish off with a physical book that is, it's royalty for thrillers. It is hyped. I mean, I don't know if it's overhyped because it completely lives up to it. And every single praise that it got is so well deserved. And I'm so glad that I finally read it, because now I can call myself a true thriller fan. That was half sarcastic, but no, I'm really glad that I read it because I've seen the movie first, but it definitely didn't dampen my enjoyment. And that is, of course, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Do I even need to tell you what Gone Girl is about? If you haven't been spoiled for the plot twist, consider yourself lucky. Because obviously I saw the film and I knew even before that what happened. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was so good, so amazing. I mean, I've said everything there is to say about this book already, but it is truly probably one of the most well-deserved award this book gets in the literary community. It is the perfect domestic thriller. It just summarizes everything that domestic thrillers have tried to do since and failed about marriage, about suburban life, about all this drama that comes with it, about the police work. It just does everything meticulously well. Gillian Flynn's writing is just top notch, amazing. And it stresses me out that she's not put out any books since this one. I don't think. Was this or Sharp Objects? But anyway, I still need to read Dark Places, but I've been delaying it because I'm worried that she's never going to release anything again. And when I read Dark Places, well, there's The Grown Up as well, but when I read her last full-length novel that I still have to read, it's gonna be over and I'm not gonna have anything else to read by her, but I have to because I want to talk more about her writing in a deep dive, but like, oh. So yeah, honestly, definitely well-deserved, best of the best, amazing, perfect. And that is it, my favorite books of 2023. Like I said, I'm hoping that for my 2024 wrap-ups, I will have enough for maybe 20, but I am quite picky with my reading. It takes a lot for me to rate something 5 stars. It's just how I am. Like I said, if I just rate everything 5 stars, then what's the point? I have to be pickier, because then when I truly find something that impresses me, then I can say that it's really my all-time favorite. But yeah, we'll see what the next year brings when it comes to what I like. So that's something to look forward to. If you like this video, please, as usual, give a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm always looking forward to a discussion with my fellow book people. And I'll see you next time. Bye.